Welcome travelers from the winding trails. Grab a spot by the hearth and a pint of ale. A brief respite from our noble quest. Lean back in a chair for the Song of Rest. Hello travelers and welcome to the Song of Rest, a place where our heroes and the deities that guide them gather to share a behind-the-scenes and behind-the-screens look at the unfolding adventures in Archipeldia. Gathered before us is our dungeon master, Aaron Rollins, and his band of players, Janelle Wilke, Chad Stafford, and Ben Holland. But I'll let them do the talking, and I'll get back to playing.
Tell us a story, Werebear.
Oh, it all began where the moonstone shone bright and the honey flowed thick. And that was the first time I died.
I read too much smut.
That honey is thick.
My husband just came in and gave me a mug of tea and snorted and walked away. Because he can't hear anyone else's response.
It's amazing.
Janelle, you are banished from the 100-acre woods henceforth.
I had the same thought too, actually, earlier when Ben was responding to his intro and talking about a hole closing up. I'm like, God damn it. My stupid brain is broken forever.
I don't even remember what I said. So that's awesome.
It was about the punch card. The third punch keeps closing.
The hole closing
third
up.
hole keeps
Fudge.
closing.
Oh, man. No.
We can't use words like hole or crack or gaping or thick
Or piss miss.
or penis.
God damn it, we can't use penis.
Because when you say penis, people start getting dirty thoughts.
Welcome to the Song of Rest, everybody.
Yeah, this is where we're starting this. Grab yourself a can of cranberry Christmas. Time to relax.
It's a seasonal flavor.
Just so y'all know, it's like close to 10 p.m. and we're all old as dirt, and so we're all feeling it. And so we're going to be a little loopy this Song of Rest.
Yeah.
I gotta get my teeth cleaned early in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know if this takes the cake or the award for earliest combat in a break, battle, and roll episode that was not a two-parter.
It was like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to say, what episode was it? Where remember when the Helix were tied to the bolt, the
Oh yeah.
the pillars, and like you guys discovered them, and then like the beginning of the next episode was like fighting them and whatnot. So I don't know if that happened faster or not.
All I'm saying, Aaron, is it's a fun little mix up because I think we're all grown. We all have grown used as players. You're like, yeah, we get some narrative, we do some traveling and then combat. So it was really fun to just go like, and combat.
Yep.
I was great to have a combat episode because this was a combat episode.
Surprise.
Pretty much.
We actually haven't hit anything in a while.
That's true. We've been running from things.
Like, we actually really haven't had combat in a while. We've been running from things, and even in the Jabberwock fight, we took care of the tree creatures so quick that I wouldn't even call that like a full combat. That was more like an obstacle during the encounter.
I think this was fun too because we all just leveled up.
Oh, I'd love to hear what everybody's HP count is. After the fight. Where is everyone's health at right now?
15.
Ugh.
16 for Flowerkraut.
Well, I feel guilty. I'm sitting here with a fresh 37.
You had some kick-ass dex checks. Don't feel guilty for being good.
Oh my gosh, you dodged so well.
I just happened to dodge things with my face.
Brandy is a squashed flat 1.
And Remington's sitting at a 47.
Lord, that's higher than my HP threshold.
Wow. Did he get touched?
He's pretty powerful. Like, I mean, you guys are starting to see what he's capable of, and he leveled up. He technically leveled up with you guys. So
Is he just like a full leveled rogue? Is that what he's rocking, or is he?
Yep, straight up level rogue. Yep.
Can we know what his subclass is?
You know what? I think I'd prefer for you guys to kind of find that out.
Yeah, now I'm going to be thinking about it. So
Now I'll summon the shadows. That's right. I'm a phantom.
He's a honky tonk rogue. That's what he is.
I'm a honky tonk.
Shazam, Shazam, Shazam. I shot him in the face.
I loved Thrigg in combat yelling at Nathaniel like, you don't even know one spell.
That was awesome. I'm so hungry.
Flailing around.
Quick, hide.
Perhaps after a light meal.
Eat this and cast a cantrip. Get in here.
Yeah, Threg just rips brains out of a body and shoves them into Nathaniel's mouth. There, cast spell now.
Fireball.
I think one of my favorite moments, if not my fan art moment, is Nathaniel just giving up the fight and going off and eating a brain while the rest of us are still dealing with it.
There should just be a picture of all of us just like mangled. Bones are like outside of our bodies, and he's over there having a 5-star brain meal over there.
Yeah.
Cross-legged, just having a feast with a big smile on his face. Yeah.
Aged well.
You have this all under control. I'm not worried at all.
I also really liked the flavor of him not passing his stealth check because he has to tell himself to hide.
It's a disadvantage.
That's great.
Pretty soon, Thrig's just going to slap him back on his back, even if he is in one piece.
Hey, so Janelle, how do you crit so much? Because, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. That was insane. This is my... If I don't think I'm wrong in saying this is my first time critting with Elderly Blast, and it happened twice this episode. That was incredible.
Yes.
I also rolled 2 19s in a row at one point, and I'm just like, what is happening?
Medium.
Yeah, be nice to that dice.
Medium.
She's getting stronger.
Yeah, somewhere on the material plane, there's a blue dragonborn that's just like, oh, she's getting stronger.
I'm so proud.
Oh, I know. God, he's going to be so gone for one of the hags because they have a chunk of Miriam.
Oh my gosh. That's an interesting conflict for Califran.
Darkafran? Yes.
Ooh. I mean, like, you guys already fought mind-controlled Califran, but...
yeah.
But if he does run into the hags and I don't know, like, I think the way that they contain the power of Miriam, the heart of Miriam, is a little bit different from you guys. So
theirs was stolen. Ours was a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that basically destroyed her. So hopefully he sees that, but who knows? Maybe they'll manipulate him.
We'll have to see when Califran comes back into the story.
Spoilers.
Oh, and then Chad, you used something during combat that incorporated, it wasn't a moat, or was it? From Amelia.
Oh, so she gave me her orb that I think she was using for a prayer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've had that ever since, just in my bag. And we should totally do a roundtable real quick and talk about all the cool new stuff we got for leveling up, because we're all level 6 now.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, we should.
But to start it off, one of the things that I added was Starry Wisp, and what caught me was the verbiage that they use where it says you launch a mote of light. And I'm like, oh, mote of light, mote of Miriam. I feel like that works. So I was just like, yeah, he'll grab this orb and he'll use that to channel, some of this light as an attack. So I thought it worked.
It's a pretty cool spell. It's new to the 2024 set. And it kind of makes me think of like a miniature fairy fire because
Totally.
Because if it hits someone, they can't be invisible. So it's a great cantrip. Good idea.
Yeah, it's like a fairy fire that does damage, and what you lose is you don't
radiant damage.
Yeah, it does radiant damage, and it doesn't allow you to get advantage on your next hits, but it still prevents them from doing stuff and it doesn't cost a spell slot. Like, that's pretty slick.
You know what it is? I just realized it. How many of you guys absolutely loathe the Sacred Flame spell? I mean, think about playing... Yeah, exactly. Think about playing Baldur's Gate 3 and how it never freaking... Because the Sacred Flame spell is a saving throw spell, but the Starry Wisp is an attack, is actually a spell attack like Firebolt or anything like that. So it's a way to do radiant damage using your spell attack rather than allowing them to make a save against it.
I feel like radiant damage is super rare outside of like being a cleric or being a paladin. So
yeah,
Starry Wisp is, from what I understand, I think it's specifically a bard spell. So that's kind of cool.
That it was probably needed. I think who else can use it? I haven't even looked that up, but like, I think bards needed a source of radiant in their repertoire.
Let's see. Level cantrip, school, bard, druid.
Yeah, druid already have moonbeam, so that's radiant damage, but
moonbeam rules.
Yeah.
Love moonbeam.
But for bards, that's a great addition. I think a lot of people are surprised that spell's not available to like clerics, you know?
The other thing that got added to Timothy's repertoire, I swapped out one of his spells for Silvery Barbs, which is very polarizing in the D&D community. So please don't hate me because I love you.
They can deal with it.
And then at level 6, you can actually do your
so he's a rogue 2 now, so he can do cunning actions. So for bonus actions, he can disengage, he can hide.
Nice, the cunning action,
which is super great. And then get that d6 of damage if he's next to an ally or if he has advantage on the attack. So just helping him get a little bit more damage in there.
Such a good ability.
Something we were talking about a little bit prior to the episode, and that I think is so neat about how you play, Chad, is that every choice you make, it makes Timothy like an amalgamation of all the people he meets. You guys mentioned that. And it's so true. Like everything from learning the thieves' cant and then picking up the rogue subclass because he's inspired by Remington, even like learning a little bit of a radiant thing, kind of like filling the gap where Sherman was. It's just like everything you do, I just love seeing how you play. I love that you weave it into the story and who Timothy is as a character.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you.
Long-term Kenku recall. Yeah.
Well, and then Valor Bard because of Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the Thieves' Cant was kind of like, oh man, who were you talking to in Thieves' Cant?
The Elder.
Oh yeah, the Elder.
Yes, of the Krekel.
The character you totally made up on the spot, but turned out being actually really cool and important to the Krekel.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Timothy's just like evolution, and being a Kenku is so fitting to that because of the mimicry and like how he's taking pieces of everyone and creating his own individual self out of it.
I mean, and even just like with the little bit we know about his past, like with Tierman too, it's like he really brings a little piece of everyone he meets along with him.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, that's just a very cool thing.
Except for my headphones, that horse still has them. I really like those back eventually. Roll a d20. Whoever gets the highest gets to say what cool stuff they got on their level up.
All right, let's see. Janelle rolled an 11.
I got an 8. You're up.
All right, so Thrigg, pretty straightforward. So his big thing was called Elemental Cleaver.
Yes.
So when I rage, and it has to be when I rage, I can infuse an element into my axe, and I get to pick it. I chose fire for this session because Thrigg's a simple man.
What are all the choices that you get to pick from?
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So I get to choose from acid, cold, fire, thunder, or lightning.
Oh, sick.
And so what's really neat about it is let's just say I picked lightning, right? And then I hit and I say, oh gosh, that's 1d6 fire damage. I did 6, and Aaron gives me the DM clue. Hey, that didn't hurt it as bad as you think it did, right? So they're resistant to it, or even immune potentially. On my next turn, or even right then, if I haven't taken it yet, I can say, okay, cool. As a bonus action, I change the element to acid, and I can just do that mid-fight, which is really neat.
If this was like an artificer thing, Aaron, you'll probably remember this. Hopefully someone else has watched this show. The caster gun from Outlaw Star, where he could just like swap the revolver for different types of like magical bullets.
Yes.
And it was the coolest thing ever.
Such a cool weapon. Yes.
Just imagine that with like the handle of the axe has like all these different like gems in it, and he just like spins it to lock it into a different element type.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool as like a artificer barbarian giant Yeah. I think the other thing that's really neat about that ability is that it changes the entire weapon damage to that type. You're no longer doing slashing damage with your axe. You're doing all fire damage.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That rules.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
Awesome.
So if
that's huge.
We were fighting another barbarian, right? And they raged and they became resistant to slashing damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really slick.
It really adds a strategic element to being a barbarian, because normally as a barbarian it's just I hit, I swing.
Yeah.
But now you get to be smart about how you're going to approach the fight.
So this level 6 was the entire reason I wanted to play a Path of Giants barbarian, was because of this. It was 100%. Like, this was the thing that I was really looking forward to getting to, because I also really love the idea of, okay, I hit you with my axe that's, got cold damage on it, and then I push lightning through it, kind of deal. Because like now I have 2 elements that I can work with on every turn, because I can always have lightning on every turn if I have it not available to me, and then I can change the element to anything else. I really like the idea of like hitting with thunder damage first and then lightning, and then Timothy being like, that's the opposite of what's supposed to happen.
Wait a minute.
I really like that idea. The other cool thing that gets it is with the weapon that I've imbued, I can now throw it, which is cool. So my javelins are kind of useless to me now, but I can throw the axe at any given point, and it still does the damage. It does my crushing blow, because being the Path of Giant, anything weapon I throw that I add my strength modifier to, I actually do more damage with that. So now when I'm throwing the axe, I actually do a little bit more damage than when I was hitting with the axe, if that makes sense. So because instead of just adding a +5 to my damage, I actually add a +7 when I throw it and hit, which is really cool. But then even if the axe misses, I have automatic recall on it. So it returns.
Well, your normal swings when you're raging should be a +7, because rage itself gives you +2 damage.
Oh, that's right. And I never add that in because it doesn't have it here.
So I think that crushing blow, I think that what that is supposed to basically give you is you can add your rage damage to thrones, to your throw attacks as well, is kind of what it's giving you.
That's me learning about my character during A Song of Rest, because you're right. I never think about that +2. I never think about it.
It's not as intuitive on the screen. I kind of wish that D&D Beyond had a button that said, I'm raging, so change everything on my screen that would change,
Yeah. That's why I don't think about it, because like we're going quick. But that's like why I always forget when I forget what it's called. I always forget that I have savage attacks.
Oh, reckless attack, right? Yeah.
No, savage attacks. So savage attacks is when I crit. I actually roll one of the weapons dice an additional time.
Oh, that's the half-orc thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So I always forget I have savage attacks because it's in D&D Beyond in a really dumb spot.
Yeah.
Because it's like on page 5 at the bottom. And so like I always am like going like trying to find it.
Mm-hmm.
But then and I didn't use reckless at all this time around, because I did not want to give them advantage on 3 attacks with 2 of them sitting next to me and advantage on 6 attacks. So
they were tearing you up. Thank goodness you're cutting that damage in half.
Yeah,
but
except for the first time you hit me, I didn't get to with the werewolf. But thankfully it was only the werewolf that hit me.
The werewolf.
Yeah. And that's basically what Thrig got. But I mean, being able to throw an axe that's on fire or dripping acid, adding my rage damage to it, and then having it immediately return to me is kind of amazing. I was very excited for this level. So that's what he got. What about you, Janelle?
Flower Kraut got Thunder Step.
Thunder step. Thunder
Master.
So yeah, you got to hear about that during the episode. She got to try it out. So that one's pretty fun because it's kind of like Dimension Door, but you also do an AoE effect of thunder damage, which is pretty awesome. And creatures that save against the Constitution saving throw, they still take half damage. So that's pretty awesome.
Those are the best spells, the ones that you're going to get damage out of this one way or the other.
Yeah, utility with damage. That's awesome.
Yeah. And she can also, so I talked about how she could pick up or teleport with another character or another willing character, but she could also bring along objects as long as it doesn't exceed what I'm able to carry. So that's pretty cool too. Might come in handy.
Steal a moonstone.
Oh, maybe. Something else I enjoyed, Aaron, was when you had the handlebar.
Oh God!
Redcap have a posh accent.
I didn't expect that, especially when
funny.
they're all going blood, and then this guy is all proper.
I would like a touch of blood, if you please.
Oh, what are you doing?
No, please, not my mustache.
I do love that Thrig decided that they all just, the only reason he was fighting them is because their facial hair sucked.
Yes.
That was great. He was picking on them in the order of the hair he hated the most.
Yeah, and the Soul Patch definitely was the winner of that championship.
I'm gonna kill you in order of
And then
bad
you were
hair.
describing the hair as the health bar.
God.
You know, it was funny
It's
when I was
so
putting
funny.
this encounter together. I was like, well, I want them to fight these 5 red caps, but I don't want them to just be cookie cuttered. So I was like, how can I differentiate these guys all pretty much like, you know what? I'm going to give them different facial hair. So I actually have them written down as freaking Soul Patch, full beard, mutton chops, cap face, and mustache guy. So it was like, this is how we're gonna separate these guys out.
I wish we could have kept no facial hair, cap face man as our mascot because I loved him dearly. Truly psychotic.
Catface is hilarious. Catface is hilarious. I love that.
Oh, he was so
just this
crazy.
giant cap covering his whole face is just so dumb, and I love it. How good that is.
Like, this is one of the most perfect places where red caps would have shown up, just from lore perspective, because it's a mystery as to how red caps come into existence. But one of the reasons, or one of the things that triggers them to exist, is essentially bloodbaths, like mass murders. And so they just they grew, they're almost like fungi, you know, it's like they just kind of grew into the bodies of the slain. And
so that's really funny that you say that, because I know what red caps are because I've used them in a game. But the second you're like, the werewolf dies and these red caps form, I went, oh, mushrooms? And then you're like, and it stands up with a scythe. And I'm like, nope, that's not a mushroom. But at first I thought you were actually talking about mushrooms.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably where the name comes from.
You fight these things in Act 1 of Baldur's Gate, I believe, when you go into the...
Yeah, they're out in front of the hags.
Yep, you do. They suck.
And they like are pretending the like mirage, the major illusion is that they're all like sheep and stuff. And like, the best part is like when you think that they're still under the spell, they go bah at you. So funny.
Yes, it's great.
And man, 3 attacks is brutal. There is not a lot of creatures in any of the manuals that have 3 attacks like that outside of like dragons. And
I was scared when we were fighting 5 things that have 2 attacks. Then we were fighting 5 things with 3 attacks. I'm like, it just keeps getting worse.
I love the way that you described one of them was like, oh yeah, he just jumps up because he was fighting me and just swings his scythe in every direction. Was like, this isn't calculated.
No,
this is just, I want to get the blood out. And it was, I loved that idea of them just jumping in the air to this gigantic half orc and just and just like swinging
they're
like a blender.
Incredibly strong too. Like I was thinking that depending on the situation, a couple of them might have tried to grapple you, and they would give you a run for your money on grappling you.
I'm large though when I'm raging.
They have an ability called outsized strength.
No.
While grappling, the red cap is considered to be medium Also, wielding a heavy weapon doesn't impose disadvantage on its attack rolls. So
That's cool.
they could still grapple a one size bigger than them.
My favorite type of monsters are the ones that really step outside of the norm.
Yeah.
Right? Just like, hey, this is the one weird thing they can do that they shouldn't be able to do, because any other creature wouldn't be able to do. I love that stuff.
I think it was also neat that the first time we encountered a blood memory, it was like pretty ominous, and Flowerkraut and Timothy were pretty freaked out by it, but they wound up encountering it. And then this time around, when they encountered it, it was kind of like nonchalant, like, oh yeah, we've seen this before, we've got this. And then nope, a very dangerous encounter came of it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that fight was going to be so easy. It's like, oh, the werewolves are dying in one hit. We're just going to get out of this and then do some exposition.
You should know better by now.
Chased by evil Super Mario.
It's me, Bloody-O.
That's my fan art moment, by the way. Like, not a joke.
And I'm a Capigi.
Capigi. Whoa. Well, one did have a very nice mustache, you know.
That was Bloody-O.
Yeah.
Bloody-O. And then there's Blood Dowser.
Dozer.
I mean, 3 attacks, that can be scary, but you guys are strong now. You guys you got some pretty awesome abilities.
And everyone was rolling well too, so that kind of helped.
Flowerkraut's elderly blasts were just absolutely decimating stuff. Thrig was just...
Yeah.
I mean, I think Thrig did 39 damage in one turn, and Flowerkraut did 33, I think, in one turn. So that's huge.
Well, yeah, I mean, my level up, my damage didn't change, except for the fact that now I'm adding a d6 to every time I hit, which is a lot. 12 extra potential damage per turn. I didn't have before. That's pretty crazy. And then being able to add a d6 on top of that if I choose to off one of those hits. So, a potential 18 damage that I didn't have before. It's kind of cool.
I think we still need Chad and Aaron's fan art moment.
Oh, fan art?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh. Let's see. I think I like Timothy dancing on the rock, and there's just these red caps flying past him.
Timothy in the red Thriller jacket is just...
And it's so funny because it's like he's not even intending to dodge. He's just like...
doing the bit.
Yeah. Just swings over to the side, and a red cap with a boot out aimed at him just flies past him on the rock. And just Timothy was having a good time.
He was having a great time.
Yeah.
I think I like the be a wide shot. It would be a wide establishing shot of Flowerkraut standing at the blood memory as it dissipates, and you see the blood pooling back into the bodies, and they start to reform.
Yeah.
I like that.
So creepy.
And they're just like massive shadows that are kind of like leaching into frame.
I'm excited to see what you guys come up with, or what your intuition does for this next episode. Kind of like that you're in a point where it's really investigation, like what is your next step? Where is the Maiden of the Moon, and why is it where it is? So it's been like, after the fight, I really enjoyed all of the back and forth about like what you guys know about Aster, what you guys know about the hags, Remington learning more about the hags, Thrig being jealous that he wasn't there to kill Aster with you guys.
I like that Thrig put together is like, all right, cool. So we're going to the moon to get a rock. Got it. Understand.
We're going to the moon.
Yep.
To the moon.
I love my big idiot.
Next day we wake up and suddenly Thrig is in like a science jacket with reading glasses trying to figure out physics.
The Hulk.
Oh, he looks like Beast.
Oh yeah,
no,
he looks like Beast. Hell yeah.
At that point, probably, yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. He's blue.
I love that Flowerkraut's response of he's like, we understand we have to go to the moon. I think exactly the opposite.
I have another fan art moment. Shoot. Oh my God. It would be us in front of Winnie the Werebear, and we're all contemplating really deeply on how we should ask our 5 questions, and then Thrig just blurts out, "How do I become a bear?"
Yes.
Yes,
that's so funny.
The second he goes, "You have 5 questions," I grabbed the sides of my chair and just like, wait for the best spot, Ben. I knew exactly what was coming. He's like, "Okay, my first question is, how do I become a bear?"
Oh, let me think.
Yes.
That was a great moment. And also thank you, Chad, for lending your Winnie the Pooh voice for Winnie the Werebear.
So people who aren't going to hear this in the episode, it was literally Aaron. We were doing like a pledge with each other. Aaron was reading the dialogue, and then I reread it as freaking Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Werebear.
And you kind of did like modifications on what he said too.
Yeah.
And then, so at the end, when you're like, okay, the werebear just kind of drops, and then Chad's just like, honey. And then it's like, now that's the end of the episode now. It was great.
Oh, bother.
So good.
One thing I wanted to bring up before we end this is Ben and I just recently attended a really cool event at a meadery here in Phoenix called Scale and Feather, which awesome place if you are a Phoenix local.
Shout out Scale and Feather.
Go to Scale and Feather. It's a great place to try different flavors of mead, and it's also themed like D&D style with a tavern. So we attended an event called Iron DM, and it was actually a lot of fun. So they had folks sign up as players, and they had people sign up as DMs, and I think there were 6 slots for DMs, but then one person had to drop. And so the 5 of us there. And so what they did is they assigned us randomly to 5 different tables. So the caveat was that we weren't allowed to DM at a table with someone that we knew personally. And then what they do is they give us an hour to prepare a one-shot adventure using the 3 ingredient words that they gave us right as we sat down at our tables. And those were, Ben?
Justicar, Jabberwock, and Jubilation.
Which was hilarious that the Jabberwocky was like the creature they wanted us to use, with us doing this in BBR kind of in tandem to the whole thing. And so we got an hour to prepare a one shot using those 3 words. And our players got to create their characters. We were only allowed to say 3 words to our players during that hour. And then we got started and we jumped right into a one shot. I think we had like 3.5 hours or something to play.
Yeah, it was 3.5 hours to play with one 15-minute break in the middle.
Yeah. So then when the game ended, they handed out these like survey, like review sheets to all the players, who then graded us. We don't even know what all of the questions were. Cause they just, even after the fact, they didn't get to let us see what we were graded on, and they tabulated scores, and they brought the 5 DMs back in, and Ben and I won first and second place at the Iron DM contest.
Amazing. And not amazing. I'm not surprised at all. You guys are fantastic.
Not amazing. Expected, really.
Really expected.
So to clarify on that, Aaron won first place. I won second place. Because you said my name first. You said Ben and I won first and second place. So Aaron won.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron won first place. And they said that we were only separated the first place winner and the 5th place individual. They said they were separated only by 10 points, I think.
Yeah.
So I think Aaron and I, because Aaron and I must have been neck and neck. So that was really cool.
It was very humbling.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to give a shout out to Ariane for playing in my game. I know she listens to Break Battle Roll. So shout out, Ariane. Thank you. You were an awesome player. Was glad to have you at my table, and I'm glad you enjoyed the adventure that we ran that night. So great experience. They gave us prizes. I got a really cool book full of battle maps, and I got it right here. It's called Immersive Battle Maps, Yarrow Studios. It's this huge book.
Cool.
And
it's cool.
Yeah. and it lays flat. It's really nice how like the binding on this makes it so you can just literally open this book up and you've got a battle map, and they've got the grid and everything on here. So that was cool. And then Ben, what'd you get?
They 3D printed a giant D20 that the 20 unscrews and it becomes a dice holder, which is pretty neat. My oldest child has already stolen it and asked me to prime it for them so they can paint it rainbow colors. And so that I probably will be priming that this weekend so they can do that.
That's lovely.
Because my oldest child is getting into D&D, and that makes for a very happy father.
Well, congratulations, you guys. That sounds well earned.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're hoping that we can get more of us to go and participate the next time they run this event. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna play next year.
Yeah,
because there were several people at my table that talked about that they were DMs and they would like to give it a shot. There was 2 people at my table saying they would try to do this shot. So I think I'm gonna try to play next time, give someone else a chance.
Out of curiosity for the players, did they have like pre-builds because everybody kind of had to do this?
Nope. They had an hour to make characters.
Oh wow, cool. What level did everyone start off as, or did you guys dictate that?
So the DMs got to pick. I chose level 3, and I think Aaron chose level 4.
Nice.
Yeah, I picked level 4.
Yeah,
and literally because again, you only get to say like 3 words to your players during that prep time. So I just said like 4th, and then I said +1 item, and then I said. And they asked me a question, and I just responded with yes. And that was my 3 words. So
yeah, what was interesting is they told us in the email that they sent over that we could only say 3 words. And it didn't, again, I'm not sure how that was supposed to work. And then during the reading of the rules, they actually said, and I clarified, that you could like write to your players if you want. It doesn't stop you from communicating that way. You can't just speak out loud, and it's like, because it takes longer. So I had, since I didn't know what kind of size table we were working with and everything, I brought this really kind of tightly ingrained version of my setup where I just had an iPad where I was using a tool called Encounters Plus to track all my monsters in initiative. And then I brought this little mini tiny standing whiteboard. There's like a tabletop whiteboard so I could track initiative and put things on there for them to see. And so I just used my whiteboard to communicate back and forth with them if they ever ask questions. So that actually was pretty helpful. But it's so funny, Aaron and ours rules basically, besides the level, were the same. It's like +1 magic item, and they someone from, and I don't remember who it was, from Scale and Feather came by and looked at my whiteboard and cracked up, and one of them asked I was like, is any magic item on the table? And I just wrote on my whiteboard, don't be a dick. And I left it up the entire time. Don't be a dick. My it was so cool. My table, I felt very lucky that I had 4 players, and they were interested in learning who their characters were more than they were interested in anything else. And they all jumped into role play so fast. I couldn't believe it. And my favorite thing that I've ever had happen is the guy at the table was playing a cleric. They got into a fight within 4 or 5 minutes of us starting because I wanted to see how they thought about combat. So I threw a pretty easy combat in front of them. And so the half-orc goes to fight, the ranger shoots, the halfling throws a dagger. The cleric says, I'm back from the fight, right? I'm like, yeah. And he looks at me and goes, I run away. It's like, what? You run away? And he goes, the story's set up. I just met these guys at a bar. I've never been in a fight with them before. I don't know anything. They're fighting. I'm running away. And he proceeded to run away. And it made me so happy because it's like, all right, cool. These guys know what they want to do. They're not going to shoot, just phone it in. It was so cool because of that.
I would say for this event, you've got people signing up to be DMs because they're confident in being a professional DM. But you also have people signing up as players because they're professional players as well, because they all were so good at interacting with one another in role playing, in coming up with ideas. So it was a really amazing experience because you weren't having to coax a player out of their shell at all. They were right into it, so it was fun.
Yeah, maybe we should do an on-tap. Shout out to on-tap. If you haven't gone to listen to it, please go listen to it. Maybe we should do an on-tap, Aaron, about walk through our stories.
Our stories, because yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
We had the same ingredients, and our stories are so wildly different.
Oh, yeah.
The way that, as teaser, you have to come listen to the on-tap episode to hear this, but the way that Aaron used jubilation is so funny that I almost forgot what I did, because Aaron's is so funny it puts mine to shame. It's amazing. So you should come listen to that when we talk about it. So I know we have to end this, but I have one last thing. It's not podcast related. It's not D&D related. But
is it Sharp Thoughts with Thrig? It's not Sharp Thoughts with Thrig. I just want to point something out that I find is like a really big milestone for someone on this podcast. That someone is letting something into their life that should have been let into their life a long time ago, and I'm really excited to hear how it goes. But Aaron is playing Mass Effect for the first time ever.
Did you really have to make that public?
Oh my god,
brother! And that is so freaking cool to me. I want to live blog it. Yeah.
Let me clarify. I've played the first, 25% of Mass Effect 1 like 2 times over, but I kept putting it down.
Then you haven't played Mass Effect.
And I just recently got a Steam Deck, and it was one of the first games I put on my Steam Deck. So
yes.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll be playing Mass Effect now. I've owned the Legendary Edition forever. So
is this your favorite podcast on the Citadel?
I was trying to figure out where the hell you were going with this whole thing, Ben. I'm just like some kind of lifestone mile. So is somebody getting married again? Because we're all married already. It's like somebody having a kid. What the hell's going on? No, it's Mass Effect.
Arguably the most important thing out of all.
It's Mass Effect. It's much more important than marriage or kids.
It's very most important thing. Mass Effect is what brought Joe and I together. We both bought the same prints as each other, and we're like, ooh, what's this happening?
That's amazing. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. We still have the prints in our room.
I love that. Nerds.
Well, I'll make sure to tell you guys all about my favorite moments in Mass Effect.
As you should.
Can't wait.
All right. We want to wrap this one up?
Wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
The foulest stenches in the air.
Thank you for another great game, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
The funk of 40,000 years and the grisly ghouls from every tomb are closed in to seal your doom.
You know what? Winnie the Werebear, can you please close this one out for us?
What do you say to end it?
Oh, bother.
Beware the piss-mist.
Lemon lime for a piss-mist good time.
Beware, for no mere mortal can resist the taste of piss-mist.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to our Song of Rest. If you like the adventures your ears just wit on, feel free to listen in on our other adventures from any plane of existence or seeing stone you get your podcasts. Until we meet again, safe journeys, travelers.